Good evening. I'm Detective Chuck Steele. Tonight we bring you a case so shocking and vile it would be safe to assume it was a work of fiction. However, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid there is nothing fanciful about tonight's story. Everything you are about to hear truly happened. This is the story of the Shark Arm Murders. Our story takes place in Sydney, Australia, April of 1935. Coogee Aquarium owner Bert Hobson was on the lookout for a new eye-catching attraction to salvage his dwindling ticket sales. One morning, whilst out fishing with his brother, he bit off more than he could chew. A tiger shark. At over 4 metres long and weighing more than a ton, the beast was a sight to behold. But Bert and his brother managed to capture the shark and place it on display in the aquarium. The attraction was a hit. Following a string of shark attacks earlier that year, the public was keen to see the man-eating monster. But nothing could prepare the crowds for what would happen next. In a moment of utter horror for those forced to witness, the shark began violently convulsing and regurgitated a human arm. With officers from the Randwick police station arriving quickly onto the scene, the arm was retrieved from the pool and the shark gutted for more evidence. No other human remains were found in the belly of the beast. However, further analysis of the arm revealed that it in fact had not been bitten off. It had been severed perfectly with a knife. Somebody had fed the arm to the shark. Thankfully, the distinctive tattoo on the victim's arm made him all too easy to identify. The arm belonged to Jimmy Smith, a former boxer and known criminal, but perhaps most suspiciously, a police informant. Smith had last been seen on a night out at the Cecil Hotel, drinking with a friend of his, Patrick Brady. A convicted signature forger and known associate, Brady had been renting a small cottage near the Cecil Hotel at the time Smith went missing. Police alleged that Brady took Smith back to said cottage and murdered him. A taxi driver testified that he had picked up Brady the night Smith went missing. In a statement he made to the police, he said, "Brady was dishevelled. He had a hand in a pocket and wouldn't take it out. It was clear that he was frightened." The police arrested Brady for suspected murder. However, instead of the confession they had been hoping for, Brady claimed that the murder had been orchestrated by another man. Sydney businessman Reginald Holmes. Whilst on the surface Holmes appeared to be a respectable family man, the reality was far more nefarious. Just a few months earlier, Smith, Brady and Holmes had worked together on an insurance scam. Holmes had purchased a pleasure boat named Pathfinder, which they then renovated, heavily overinsured, and then had Smith destroy for the insurance money. The police, now hot on Holmes' trail, went to question him. Holmes denied having ever met Brady, but the murder clearly lingered in his mind. 4 days later, Holmes took to the harbour. Armed with a pistol and a bottle of bourbon, he drank himself senseless and then promptly shot himself in the head. Miraculously, he survived. Signalled by the sound of a gunshot, police began pursuing Holmes. Evading their attempts to capture him, the boat chase lasted for over 4 hours before he finally gave himself up. When questioned by the police, Holmes pointed the finger right back at Brady. Holmes claimed that Brady murdered Smith alone and showed up at his house holding Smith's severed arm. He said Brady threatened to blackmail him if he didn't pay him £500. Holmes gave Brady the money and he left, leaving the arm in Reginald's living room. Panicked, Holmes drove to a nearby cliff and discarded the arm. With insufficient evidence, the police could only convict Brady of the murder with the testimony of Holmes. Although he had agreed to testify, the story was far from over. On the morning of the trial, Holmes was discovered dead in his car with 3 bullet wounds to the chest. Without any viable evidence, the police were unable to convict Brady of the murder, and so Brady walked free. And so the questions remain. Who shot Reginald Holmes? Where is the rest of Jimmy Smith's body? Was Brady framed, or did everything go according to plan? My dearest viewers, if we have learnt one thing from tonight's case, it is that the truth is sometimes stranger than fiction. I've been Chuck Steele. Good night.